Hi, I'm Mr. HoppyHop, your one-stop hop for magical stories. Let's go.
The sun climbed higher into the sky, and the clearing where Nina had made her first wish now hummed softly with the sounds of summer. The tall grass swayed gently, and the trees whispered secrets only the wind could understand. In the center of it all stood Nina, a 10-year-old dreamy village girl with wavy brown hair that caught the sunlight like strands of soft silk. Her simple patchwork dress fluttered around her knees as she knelt down, her kind, expressive eyes full of peace. She reached out and gave Pip, her faithful companion, a gentle scratch behind his ear. Pip was a small, clever gray mouse with a neat blue ribbon tied snugly around his neck. His bright eyes gleamed with excitement, and he twitched his tiny whiskers before tugging at a loose thread on Nina's dress. Then, with a determined squeak, he darted off through the grass, his ribbon bobbing like a tiny blue flag. Curious, Nina stood and followed. The warm grass brushed against her legs, soft as feathers. Ahead, Pip scurried along a well-worn path between the trees, his small gray form weaving through the tall stalks. Nina smiled gently, trusting that her clever little friend had something important to show her. They passed beneath the arching branches of an ancient oak. Sunbeams filtered through the canopy above, painting golden patterns on the forest floor. The air smelled of damp earth and green things. Somewhere high above, a bird sang a lazy summer tune. After a short while, Pip skidded to a stop beside a cluster of wild daisies. He twitched his nose and looked back at Nina, urging her silently to catch up. Hidden behind the daisies and a curtain of tangled vines was a small hollow at the base of an old tree, nestled beneath its gnarled roots. Nina knelt down and gently brushed the leaves aside. Inside was a tiny, secret nest, Pip's nest. It was cozy and meticulously arranged, just like Pip himself. Lined with soft feathers, bits of moss, and tiny scraps of cloth. In the corner sat a small, cherished collection of treasures Pip had gathered over time. A shiny button, a piece of blue glass, a dried berry, and a tiny seashell that shimmered like a drop of moonlight. Nina's heart swelled with affection. She knew Pip had worked hard for each of these tiny tokens. But one thing stood out, a bead she hadn't seen before. It was shaped like a seed, but shimmered differently than the magical wish seeds in her pouch. This one glowed with a soft, silvery light, like starlight dancing on water. Just as she reached toward it, the breeze stirred, and with it came a gentle, melodic voice, carried on the wind. It was Whisper, the shimmering wind spirit who often guided Nina on her journey. Whisper was usually invisible, but sometimes, like now, it appeared as a soft glow with gentle, watchful eyes, barely seen between the shifting sunbeams and fluttering leaves. Some treasures are meant to be shared, and some to be kept safe, Whisper murmured, the sound blending with the rustle of leaves. Nina paused, her fingers hovering just above the glowing bead. She glanced down at Pip. His bright eyes were locked on hers, not fearful, but earnest. She understood in that instant. This was Pip's secret wish, not meant for magic, but held close because it meant something only he could fully feel. She smiled and drew her hand back. "I'll leave it here, Pip," she whispered. "It's your secret." Pip squeaked happily and nudged her hand with his tiny nose. Around them, the wind rustled the daisies and lifted Nina's hair in a playful swirl, as if Whisper was smiling too. As they left the little hollow behind, Nina felt a warm glow rise in her chest. It wasn't from a wish granted or magic released, but from something deeper: understanding, respect. The quiet kind of love that comes from knowing when to listen and when to let go. The sun shone brighter overhead as the two made their way back to the clearing. Pip scampered beside her, his blue ribbon fluttering like a banner of joy. And high in the trees, the wind sang a lullaby for secret treasures and kind hearts. And so, another small moment passed in Nina's magical adventure, one she would carry quietly, tucked safe within her heart.